When we talk about influence, creativity, and talent, and being the first in your generation to carry those titles, one name stands out: Maximilian Davis. He became the first black designer to win the British Womenswear Designer of the Year award. From launching his own brand in 2020 to pausing it when a much bigger opportunity came knocking. This is the story and the impact of Maximilian Davis. Cause this isn't just talent, it's in his DNA. Maximilian was born in Manchester, growing up in a Trinidadian British household with a mom and sister who worked as models and a father who studied fashion design. That background would later become one of the most important influences in his work. You can see it in the silhouettes, the sensuality, and the way he approaches tailoring. But fashion wasn't necessarily the obvious path at first. Like many designers, it started with curiosity, an interest in clothes, an interest in image, and eventually the decision to study fashion proper. He went on to study at the London College of Fashion, one of the schools that has produced many of the industry's most influential designers. And even during his studies, there was already a sense that his perspective felt different. His designs were minimal but never cold. There was always something sensual about them. Sharp tailoring, clean silhouettes, but with an attitude that felt confident rather than restrained. And that perspective quickly started to get attention. In 2020, he launched his own label, Maximilian. His first collection, called Jove, I think that's how you pronounce it, was a tribute to his Trinidadian roots. This was followed by a second collection called Black Elegance, and almost immediately people started paying attention. Editors, stylists, buyers, the industry noticed that something about his work felt fresh. The clothes were clean and minimal, but they still carried a sense of identity. There were references to nightlife, to masculinity, to Caribbean culture. It was masculine but not traditional European masculine. And that distinction mattered, because fashion has seen plenty of minimalist designers before, but Maximilian's version felt personal, and people like Zendaya and A$AP Rocky have all been seeing brand design connected to his own brand. Which is important because celebrity visibility is often what pushes a new brand into the cultural conversation. That attention didn't go unnoticed. Just 2 years after launching his own brand, he was appointed creative director of Ferragamo at just 27 years old, which is almost unheard of for a house with that much history. Ferragamo is a brand built on heritage, founded by Salvatore Ferragamo. The house has always been known for craftsmanship, especially when it comes to footwear and leather goods. But before Maximilian arrived, the brand felt a little quiet, respected but not necessarily part of the fashion conversation. And that's where his impact started to show. Instead of dramatically reinventing Ferragamo, Maximilian approached it with restraint. He simplified things. Cleaner silhouettes, sharper tailoring, a focus on texture, color, and proportion. One of the most notable shifts was the color palette. Deep reds, rich browns, and that now very recognizable Ferragamo red. The collections felt modern but still connected to the house's history, which is a difficult balance to strike. Because when designers take over heritage brands, they often either play too safe or change too much. Maximilian managed to sit somewhere in the middle, respecting the archive but still pushing the brand forward. His design language at Ferragamo still carries the same things that made people notice his own label. Minimalism, but never sterile. The clothes are sharp and controlled, but there's always an element of sensuality. Low-waisted tailoring, fluid dresses, leather pieces that felt powerful but still elegant, and that subtle difference gives the collections their attitude. And that new direction quickly started attracting attention outside of the runway. Celebrities and stylists started pulling Ferragamo again, and suddenly Ferragamo started feeling relevant again. Not in a loud way, but in a confident one. In 2023, Maximilian Davis won British Womenswear Designer of the Year at the Fashion Awards.
Hi. I'm kind of speechless and very nervous, but okay. I tried to write some notes of what I wanted to say, but it's an honor to stand here this evening and to be recognized for my work. It's been a journey, but a very short journey, and I also want to thank my CEO, Marco Gabetti, for really trusting me with such a big brand and a heritage brand. The Ferragamo family for really believing that I had something that could take the brand into a new direction and trusting me and supporting me for what I've done so far. The industry for supporting Maximilian before I joined Ferragamo. Obviously my mum, my dad, my sisters, which is somewhere. Yeah, my team that have been with me from the very beginning. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Making him the first black designer to receive that award. A moment that felt symbolic, not just for his career, but for the industry as a whole. And what makes his story interesting isn't just how quickly he rose in fashion, it's how clear his vision already feels. Many designers spend years trying to define their identity, but Maximilian's aesthetic feels intentional from the start. Minimal, sensual, confident, and still evolving. This is The Silly Cut. I hope you like this video, like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next. Bye.